Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at some of the leaks that we've been getting for Hunt Showdown, in particular leaks for Update 2.4, which contain the long-awaited remaster for DeSalle.
Time for the announcement. Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
It's been a long time coming. It's been like 8 months without that map, I think, somewhere around there. And a lot of people don't even know the map exists because there's been so many new players coming to Hunt and just hear all the veteran players talking about it, and they're like, what? There's another map? So we're getting that back finally, or at least we got more info about it. And some possible new hunters, whether they're DLC hunters, Bloodbound hunters, or maybe hunters that are coming in a new battle pass for a new event. We'll just have to see, but we're going to dive into the leaks, kind of look at maybe some of the information that's hidden in some of the pictures and the trailers. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So I actually downloaded the pictures from Twitter so that we can kind of, blow them up and take a closer look. But this was the first photo that they posted, obviously showing this, bald hunter with a hammer. And I actually have a feeling that, at least I hope so, this could be a new legendary throwing axe skin. It'd be super cool to have more of a hammer to be able to throw. And obviously we have, he's hanging up this poster saying notice of trial, the trial of Doc Red Martin, president, or however you pronounce that, by Judge Winford, facing charges of bribery, forgery, fraud, imitation, and disfigurement. And session commencing on, and then it's blank. So I imagine that they're basically kind of saying, hey, we're not going to show you when this is coming. But if we take a closer look, luckily with this, we can zoom in and drag around. The first kind of hint that DeSalle was going to be coming back was these posters in the background. We see Seven Sisters Estates right here, which is a compound in DeSalle. We have some stuff down here that talks about law and practice, going more with the lawyer theme. So either this guy's like a lawyer or a judge. Pretty sure he's a judge based on other stuff. But we can't see this one here. We see Blanc Brinery, I believe, right here, which obviously is not related to DeSalle. And right here, this boat right here, Steamboat Tours of the Mississippi. Some people were saying that this is possibly the boat from, I can't remember the compound, it's been so long, but there's a compound with a boat hanging out of it, or pretty much actually the whole compound is just a boat, so that's where people were linking that there. I have no idea who Henry Trauber is, and see, find remedies up here. We've got I believe this is the audio track from the Port Sulphur band for the new soundtrack and stuff. And then here it says, at the general store, Thursday evening, June 6th, and has never been seen again. So I think June 6th is the date that we're going to get Update 2.4, which would kind of line up because it's been a while since the events ended, since the Garden of Witch event ended. And I do know there's some other games doing stuff around June 6th. June 6th, I think, or somewhere in that time frame, is actually the Steam Next event. So there's a lot of games kind of, trying to showcase and premiere their games and do play tests. The Bornless is a game I'm partnered with that is actually doing a giant play test around this time. Forgive me, I can't remember the exact dates, but I'll post more of that on my normal socials like Twitter, Instagram. I'll even make a regular post here on YouTube about it. But yeah, so it would make sense for them to release an event with the return of DeSalle and all that around that time, I think. I think it would actually be a pretty bad move if they didn't do it around that time. So moving on to the next photo that they shared on Twitter was this. And with that wanted poster, obviously someone is wanted for doing all kinds of things, and this is kind of the look at that character. The first thing that I can just think of with this whole giant crazy smile is the Joker. I don't think I'm alone here, but with the Murder Circus event, we had the clowns. This kind of feels kind of like a clown-ish-esque skin with just the crazy big smile, like the again, I can't remember the name, but the lady that was tied up on the wheel that was spinning for the Murder Circus event, she has the same kind of vibe going on where she's just forced to smile, which obviously, and she had like ponytails, and there's a bat skin, or I don't know, ponytails, pigtails, whatever it was. She was very Harley Quinn, good lord. It is late, by the way, so please forgive me. It is 11 o'clock, so it's not as late as I've normally been up, but I don't know what it is. I can't talk today. But Harley Quinn, Harley Quinn. Good lord, I need to go to bed. Harley Quinn kind of themed and based on, and a lot of people agree with that, so I feel like it's kind of fitting for them to do their own kind of Joker twist of a hunter, since they kind of did a Harley Quinn themed hunter. So obviously I feel like this is the skin that we already have for the knife, so I don't think this is anything, unless they're doing another glass, you know, maybe this is a throwing knife instead of the regular knife that we got with the Monroe, I believe, is the DLC, where you get a glass knife, basically. And this right here, I believe, is Lower DeSalle. Could be something else, but I think this is the main saloon for Lower DeSalle, with all the, you know, bottles and all that on the shelves and in the boxes. I don't know. I don't recognize anything too much aside from the bottles, but it feels like Lower DeSalle in the saloon. Not much else to go on from here, though. And this is our first look at DeSalle redesigned, remastered, however you want to put it. And it does look good, but again, I'm one that never likes to judge too much on what we're supposed to expect on screenshots, whether they're, because, you know, they could always be tweaked or edited, obviously, to look a little bit better, a little bit sharper. But I do think the game overall looks a little bit better visually, just a little bit, ever since they started redoing everything. But I don't really see anything too different with the compound itself for Moses. So we do see, obviously, people running. I think I saw some people mention it. It's pretty fitting that this hunter over here brought in a label marksman and it's fog. But either way, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too much to say. Looks cool. It's just nice to see that we got a picture of DeSalle to basically know that it's kind of confirmed that we're going to be expecting DeSalle to come back. And this is the first before and after photo of a compound that we have gotten, with obviously, you know, you can see the visual overhaul with like these rocks over here, and a little bit of the mud as well. There just is a lot more detail. You know, you can notice a lot more of the cracks and just finer kind of details. At least I think so. I mean, it's going to be pretty minimal, obviously. I thought it was interesting. They did change a lot of the like tones. So like the whole prison of Pelican, it used to be kind of red brick, and they changed it to more of just a solid like tannish, dirty gray kind of building, but kept like this is still a little reddish. They obviously completely changed the outside of Pelican, though. There's this whole brick building instead of the wooden building here. It still, for the most part, has a similar layout that you can go up on this side of prison and go up on this side as well. Like you can see over here, they took out a lot more of the wall. There's this catwalk that goes up here instead of just being on the rocks. They built upon this. They made a bigger hole in the wall here that you might be able to vault over, it looks like. They added some tarps, kind of in the background here. You can see it. You can, you know, see there's a massive wall here, or there's a massive hole.
It's massive.
There's obviously not a wall here. Good lord, we're leaving all this in. But yeah, there used to be a tiny hole. You can see it right here. Let's actually zoom and pan around. But right here was actually, now my cat's yelling at me. There's actually there was a mild-sized hole here. I know you could hop out of it. I thought there was maybe a way that you could get into this. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can get into this hole as well. I saw some concerns about people being like, well, you can just march right up in there. Which, I mean, it's true. This is obviously, if you remember, if you played DeSalle, it's not like Maybe I'm wrong, you couldn't get in there, but regardless, you can just march right in there, and it's a giant, massive hole into the boss layer, because right in here would be the boss layer. I think it's fine because they want to prevent people from turtling up, and prison is a very hard compound to breach into. If you wanted to breach into Pelican if the team was already there, for the most part, you can see up in here, because prison's a pretty big compound in regards to verticality. There's pretty much 3 levels. There's this base level, there's some catwalks in the middle here, and then there's this top level here. Pretty much you would banish boss and immediately take over this upper level. Maybe you'd stay in the middle, but if you stayed in the middle and held down exactly where the boss was, people would then from the outside move into these upper levels and just kind of pin you in the middle. So it was ideal to kind of pick one side or spread across both sides. This actually, and I said it was 3 levels. There's this giant 4th level, well, not giant, but this giant tower here, and there's actually a 4th level all the way up in here as well. If you zoom out a bit, you can see it on this side as well. They did remove this little, whatever you want to call it, balcony here that you kind of step out onto. And I do, again, I think this is fine because it's going to prevent people from turtling up, setting comm bombs everywhere. Which they said that they wanted to do that with compounds moving forward ever since Mammon's Gulch. Like, that was their goal with Mammon's Gulch, was to have more opening points, more breaching points, so that it was, you know, easier to infiltrate, you know, the bounty layer. I am curious to see, they did add a dog kennel here, which, there was a dog kennel, like, over here, more by this White House, if you were to expand upon it. But yeah, I don't think there's too much else to go into. That's pretty much it for Pelican. I'm very excited to see the changes that they make to more compounds of the map, because my favorite changes to, or my favorite changes in general for Hunt, and I'm sure some people could relate, are when they change up compounds. When they add new cracks, when they add, you know, new holes in the walls, new windows, close old windows, open up new doors, add more different crawl spaces, get rid of vault points. It just makes the game feel fresh because you have to relearn some new angles. So I hope they did that with a lot of the compounds for DeSalle. And the last thing is going to be this trailer that they posted. There's some hunters in this crowd. Already have this skin. And right here, you see the wanted poster with the name The Fool. So that's going to be the official name for, obviously, whether it's a DLC or an event skin for kind of the Joker-themed hunter. And, you know, Pale Judge seeks justice for us. So I'm assuming that first photo we looked at with the bald guy, he might be the judge, and that's obviously his hunter name is Pale Judge. And, you know, on a promise fostering unrest, hunting without license, unwarranted mirth, multiple counts of murder. So, fitting the theme of obviously the Joker just causing kind of mayhem throughout the Bayou. And obviously we see DeSalle in the background as well. And we get this kind of crazy little laugh at the end there. So I'm sure he'll have a fun little animation and voice line. But yeah, we see Lower DeSalle here. This is the saloon and some of the side buildings. So very exciting to see that DeSalle is obviously done. And like I said, with the earlier kind of screenshots, I do think that we're going to get it around the beginning of June 6th is when I'm thinking we're either going to just straight up get an update that's going to have DeSalle, but it makes more sense for them to do an event of some sort. So either that or maybe on June 6th, that's when we'll get an official date on like an event and, you know, update 2.4 and all that stuff. So that's going to pretty much wrap everything up. There's nothing else to cover. I haven't seen anything else. If you have seen anything else elsewhere, like on Reddit or any other posts of people talking about, you know, like potential or like leaks or anything, please put that in the comments down below so that, you know, I can see it and read it and know for myself, on top of anybody else that's trying to, you know, find some more information about everything that's going to happen. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe. I appreciate all the support over here. And real quick too, I did actually just launch my Patreon. It's very new to me. I'm very new to Patreon, so I'm going to try to, you know, do the best I can to work out any kinks if there are any. But if you've been looking to, you know, support the channel in any kind of ways to help me, whether, you know, so I can, you know, buy more equipment, or obviously just support me a little bit extra so I can try to do this a little bit, spend more time, you know, doing content creation to pursue this kind of full time. Patreon is one of the, you know, many ways to do so. And I'm going to make YouTube members as well. So if you're more interested in doing YouTube memberships instead of, you know, supporting over on Patreon, please, you know, give me a little bit of patience and I'll get that going up as soon as possible as well. So I appreciate the support. And again, hope you guys enjoy this kind of content. Let me know if you want me to do more reviews on leaks and, you know, obviously posts that, you know, Hunt is making. So I think that's it. I'm going to go. Bye. Stay safe in the Bayou.